right? This is the daily. This is the intraday. And then it comes over here at 55. Comes over here at 55. And then has this huge freaking volume that's coming into it. So admit everything. It met my volume criteria, met my news criteria, met the daily criteria. I think the flow was I think it was 8 million. And then it pretty much broke this daily of 55. And then we ran all the way up to 104 in just a very short period of time. Just printing money. I think this was Lanai. So this fits my criteria of a daily breakout. And then we had a pre-market breakout. I think it was HKIT. HKIT was just a stock that was going up to 12 cents. I remember it like, I think it was 115. So it's just a stock that's going pre-market like this, like this, like this, like this. And at, 9:30, we break 115. We have a uptrend support. And then pretty much we got up to 15. And then I make from 12 to 15 right here, 20%. That's kind of like HKIT here and Lanai. The other ones, to tell you the truth, everything that was not in my playbook, I didn't trade. I didn't really see an edge. The only actual ticker that had somewhat of an edge, I think it was Friday, was this ticker. What was it? ARTL. But the thing about ARTL is that it did have a first green day bounce. The news wasn't that spectacular, but the volume was there and they all jumped on it. So, this is kind of like what I traded today. This week, I traded Lanai, I traded HKIT. And Lanai, I think I made 60%. And HKIT, I made 20%. So my account is up, 0.80%. That's kind of like how you gotta do it. It's very hard. Because these opportunities, if you don't know all the criteria and you don't have the data like I have, because I have the data, because I pretty much recorded every single ticker for the past 4 or 5 years and reviewed it over the weekend. If you don't have the data, you don't know even what to look for. You need the data, you need the scanners, you need everything. So, the only other opportunity I think I saw is ARTL. But ARTL, ARTL didn't fit my criteria at all. ARTL did not fit my criteria at all. We can look at our ARTL again. I gotta change the color of the markers, make it blue next time. Yeah, so ARTL was the only other ticker that where is ARTL? There's ARTL right here. So ARTL, it was a first green day bounce. The news wasn't that spectacular. What was the it's just they withdrew their registration of first stock offering. They withdrew the registration for a stock offering. Is that something that will make the stock go up from $2 to $20? That really something you would put, your retirement account and you would buy ARTL? To me, that didn't really seem that, that pretty much it didn't really seem like a really, withdrew stock offering? I mean, would you really buy 20, 30 million worth of stock? Stock offering. Would you really buy that much of a stock? So anyway, so the stock had a first green day bounce, but I didn't really, and then it broke right here. The first green day bounce was at 452. So, you know, you pretty much see the 452 level. We got sold off from 980. So the ideal point, as it came up from 278, the ideal point was to buy it at 452. But the news wasn't that really spectacular for me to buy a stock up, 80%. From $3 to 450, it was already up 50%. And like, I don't know, look at this one. It was pretty much up in like, look how quickly this moves. In like a couple of candles. And then I don't know, would you really buy 400,000 worth of stock on the news that pretty much withdraws registration for stock offering? That's not really, you can see, so here, withdraw registration of stock offering, and then it got 11 million of stock placement. It's not really, it did have news checked, but is it the greatest news? Would you really buy 60 million worth of stock if it just withdrew his, I didn't see that news being so spectacular. But the point is over here is to buy it, breaks for yesterday's highs, because this fit my criteria of a first green day bounce. This is in my course, so this did fit my criteria of first green day bounce. And pretty much the stock came up to 980, and then that is the area to buy it again. So we got up 980, consolidate a bit, then we eventually broke out 12, and we made another 20% move. So, is this a ticker that I would probably, kick myself for not buying it? I don't know. The news wasn't that spectacular. It was just, but the volume was there. So what do you want me to say? Should I have bought it? I did buy it once we got over 11, but the news wasn't that spectacular. But the volume was there. So who do you trust here? The news or the volume? You trust the volume. So maybe I should have traded this one. But other than that, the majority of the tickers that came on Friday, this was the only long. This was the long. As you can see, most tickers on Friday, most tickers on Friday, we had, almost like 3 tickers that had offering. So we had, HKIT that had offering, Onco, Visa sold off, Onco sold off, and HKIT. So, you have to take your the point of this matter is that you have to take your 20% gain right here. Lock it in. Lock. Because if you do not lock it in, well, they will take it away from you. Other than that, it should be a pretty interesting week coming into next week. Next week is a new trading week. So we're seeing a lot of volatility. I'm liking this volatility. The volatility is good, but don't get drunk off the Kool-Aid. It's gonna be a pretty hot week, and then we're gonna slowly, cool off.